We're just going to go into our intros?
Yeah.
Why not? Sonic Donuts. Okay. Once I get more comfortable, I'll be able to do it. This is just me transitioning, really.
Okay.
Into a werewolf. Hey, I'm Shazy, cosmic alchemist, music artist and producer, and vocal vixen. Born in Xanadu and living in LA, ready to scratch that itch in your brain.
And hey, I'm Mandy, singer, actress, born in LA, here to sprinkle a little love everywhere I go.
And welcome to Sonic Donuts, where each week we give you a fresh take on some of the most iconic songs out there. We perform live covers, and we dig into the stories behind the music and dive into some of life's biggest questions inspired by the lyrics.
Yes, and in this episode, we're taking a big bite out of Hand in My Pocket by Alanis Morissette. Ooh, I love her.
We're so excited to cover this song.
I know.
And it's actually interesting. Like, she was a big part of the era and when I was kind of blossoming into my artistry as like a female artist, and she kind of led the charge of that fierce feminine power when it came to female lead singers, because at the time it was like a lot of pop artists, and she was the first that broke through with like alternative rock, like
the crossover.
She was crossing over and
paved the way for artists.
I mean, remember, You Ought to Know. I mean, we're doing like a more mild single from Jagged Little Pill, which was the album that was the breakthrough.
Such an epic album.
But oh god, it was like the voice of Gen X, Reality Bites, all those, it was like that. So anyway, we're so happy to honor Alanis's,
legacy,
ethos and legacy with covering Hand in My Pocket. So let's do it, shall we?
Let's do it. Turn your radio up if you're listening in your car.
Get cozy, grab some popcorn, maybe, a little pillow behind the neck.
Oh, yeah. Turn your TV up if you're watching from home.
That's right. And get ready. We are about to perform for you live.
Live, baby.
Hand in My Pocket.
Here we go.
All right. We are going to get into the emotions of the era of Alanis and Gen X.
Yeah.
Reality Bites. I know. She always has that. She like flicks up her voice. It's so funny. All right. Let's do it. I'm broke, but I'm happy. I'm poor, but I'm kind. I'm short, but I'm healthy. Yeah. I'm high, but I'm grounded. I'm sane, but I'm overwhelmed. I'm lost, but I'm hopeful. Baby, what it all comes down to is that everything's gonna be fine, fine, fine. 'Cause I got one hand in my pocket and the other one's giving a high five.
I feel drunk, but I'm sober. I'm young and I'm underpaid. I'm tired, but I'm working, yeah. I care, but I'm restless. I'm here, but I'm really gone. I'm wrong, but I'm sorry, baby. What it all comes down to, yeah, is that everything's gonna I've got one hand in my pocket and the other one's playing a piano. And when it all comes down to my friends, yeah, is that everything is just fine, fine, fine. 'Cause I've got one hand in my pocket and the other one is hailing a taxi cab. Ooh, da 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 da. Da 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 da. Da 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 Alanis Morissette, hand in my pocket, flicking a cigarette, throwing up a high five, hailing a taxi cab, peace sign, donuts.
Good job. All right. Well, that was our cover.
We hope you like it.
Yeah, we hope you like it. And as you noticed, I don't know if you saw our first episode when we did Thriller, I was playing guitar, jamming out. Mandy was
Jamming out hard. You need to catch that if you have not seen it yet, because we were over here
I had a little
dancing.
salsa spices going on. And then Mandy was like DJing up here. She was like, chuka, chuka, what? No, it wasn't
Wait,
quite like
no,
that.
I felt so cool being able to like kick the drums.
You
I
were
felt like
on
I
it.
was really doing
You were on it.
something.
You were like, you would do the hand wave. You were all
I
like,
was ready to hit that. 7,
what?
5.
You need
What?
one headphone. You need one headphone.
I want a donut headphone.
You need a donut. Oh my God.
Wow.
Merch. Okay. Merch idea. No, so for this podcast is so great for us. It's such a passion project, really. We get to really talk to you about our feelings of help you guys get to know us a little bit more as artists through the song that we actually picked to perform for you. But the thing is about it, each time we want to honor these artists that we're picking because we do feel like a connection with them, of course.
Yeah.
We think this song is amazing and beautiful for many reasons. Could be the lyrics, could be the arrangement, whatever. But we also have to think about how do we want to arrange this song? How do we want to cover it so it's not like we're just regurgitating the original artist?
Yeah,
because,
so many
right?
people have done this over and over.
Yeah, I mean, the original artist is already fantastic.
Yeah, there's no comparison to
So it's almost
Alanis.
like we're reimagining and reinterpreting as artists.
How we're feeling about the lyrics.
Yeah, how it made us feel. For me, I felt like this song really speaks to, obviously, if the lyrics are very kind of like yin yang thing going on. She was really struggling a lot with that. She, moved to LA. She was kind of with a label where she was very pop, and she was starting to move into this alternative rock era. And she was really trying to break that ground with not being so polished and pop, But also she was just struggling personally about writing this album. In fact, this song she wrote in 20 minutes flat.
What?
Isn't
That's
that crazy?
crazy.
I love that because that's like raw.
Wow.
That's like a download. That's like raw inspiration, right?
And the lyrics are so beautifully written. So to like bust
Yes.
that out in 20 minutes, it's crazy.
Right. It's like she was speaking from her heart, which you could tell. It was very contemplative.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's almost like you're struggling with yourself. Like you're like, do I do this or do I do that? Like, what
Yeah.
is the right choice? But like the reason why I was saying bring that up is like how we approached deciding to arrange this song.
Yeah.
At first, we actually were going to go with like an acoustic guitar because that's an easy go-to, like
you think of Alanis, you think of her
you
playing
think
the
of
guitar.
Alanis exactly with the
Yeah.
guitar, the acoustic guitar, and the song itself is pretty fast tempo. It's actually, believe it or not, this song is on her famous album Jagged Little Pill. This song was actually the poppiest one of all the tracks. I mean, You Ought to Know, Isn't It Ironic? There's all these other songs, right?
Right.
But she actually felt like this was the poppiest, but she liked it the most because of the lyrics. And I was thinking, gosh, I wanted dynamics. I felt like it needed to be almost like she was speaking to herself and kind of just like daydreaming, like, oh, I'm broke, but I'm happy. I'm poor, but I'm kind. I got this. So that's why I wanted to start it that way. And so at first we were totally into the vibe of the acoustic guitar and a little faster beat. But then I told Mandy, I was like, I'm feeling like I want to lean into this with like a beautiful piano part because also in her lyric, she's like,
Playing the piano.
yeah, you'll find me playing piano. So I was like, what? This was a sign. So
I think it was a good shift for us.
we shifted over. Yeah.
It is.
So we hope you like that.
Adds the drama too to the song and the lyrics. It is like personal.
Yeah.
I feel like it's like we're reading her diary and that we connect to in a way. And I think when this song first came out back in the 90s, like I was very little.
Yeah.
But my mom and my aunt,
teenagery,
they would blast this all the time. And I just remember like constantly listening to Alanis and like belting out the lyrics to Ironic and You Ought to Know.
Right.
This song and
so many good ones on
not really truly trying to connect with it or not knowing how to connect with it. And now that I'm listening in my mid-30s, there it is. It's like, oh my gosh, I feel you, girl. I feel your pain.
Exactly. I feel like I went and got, I was like, I should have Jagged Little Pill in my vinyl collection. So I have a Maple Music right near me in LA. So I'm spoiled. But anyway, yeah, the tracks, like All I Really Want, You Ought to Know, Hand on My Pocket, Right Through You, Forgiven.
Ooh, I love Right
Head
Through
Over
You.
Feet, Mary Jane, Ironic. I mean, there's so many good tracks on this.
So many.
I forget how many good, solid tracks, like through and through.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I hope that you guys enjoy this version. And to us, we really want to be able to emote through our voices. And so sometimes we spend a lot of time really thinking through these arrangements, even though we're pretty stripped down. But we hope you really enjoy that because we do want to give justice to the lyrics. Mm-hmm. So yeah, we like to give you a little in the studio, what's going on with us. But it was like a last minute change. So I appreciate.
What? Literally today, she's like, by the way, day of recording.
I was having my Tori Amos moment. I was like,
we're not going to do the guitar version that we've been practicing a few days, but we're pros.
Like, I love it how I totally did this last minute, and I'm like, oh, like, we could do this, and I'm like, I don't normally play piano. I'm like, I gotta play this. And Mindy's like, all right, girl, you sure?
But it sounded great.
I think it came out good. And it worked. I mean, I was unexpected. I came out here to set up for the show, and I sat down on the thing, and then all of a sudden I was just like, literally, that's how it evolved. And then I recorded a version of it. I sent it to Mandy. This is all today. And then she was like, okay.
Let's try it.
She's totally down. But no, it worked out. But yeah.
Love Alanis.
Yeah, so you were young when that was all coming out. Did you see the videos?
I did. I went back and I watched the video, which...
I was going to say, did you see the Hand in Pocket video where it was a one long shot? Yeah. Kind of like Coldplay's Yellow.
You know what happened that was so funny, Shay?
What?
So I was like deep diving, doing some research, watching her videos after I watched Hand in My Pocket.
Yeah.
You know how YouTube will just play like other artists, other songs. And then...
Oh, you were watching on YouTube.
Yeah, and You Ought to Know pops out. And I'm like, dang, I haven't seen this in forever. It's such a dope video, by the way.
Wait, is this recently? This is not when you were young. Okay, because they didn't have YouTube playing these videos back then.
No, this is recently, and like they had the lyrics on the screen. Yeah. So I'm like jamming out, like listening and also singing because it has the lyrics, and I feel like I know these lyrics for sure. And then the line comes on where she's like, and don't deny me the cross I bear that you gave to me.
Right.
I thought the lyric, are you ready for this?
Yes.
I thought the lyric this whole time was the cross-eyed bear that you gave to me. Like her ex gave her a little teddy bear with cross eyes.
The cross-eyed bear. I love that so much better.
I started laughing.
Whoa,
and then I had to
amazing.
Explain why I was laughing to my aunt. She's like, what's wrong? What's going on? And it took me like 2 minutes to get it fully out. And I was like, wait, you guys. And then when I realized the actual lyric is, don't deny me the cross-eyed bear that you gave to me, I was like, whoa. Yeah.
First of all, no, her lyrics are amazing.
They hit you in your feels.
Well, they're just so poetic, you know? And honestly, that was indicative of the time during that. Because, by the way, you were talking about the video, and that's why I was like, what are you talking about now? Because MTV was the hotcakes back in the day.
Yeah.
I know younger generations, you missed out. MTV is not like what it used to be. No. But, oh, yeah, that was premiere of You Ought to Know, Hand in My Pocket. So, yeah, all the videos, like Madonna, like we were talking about with like MJ and Thriller and stuff, Like those videos were just like cinematic. They were like these beautiful like little mini movies.
Little mini movies.
But that's the thing, Alanis, she was like a really cool indie film actor. Like they're all so great at emoting through this like visual. Yeah. But also like her lyrics were just
raw and
poetic.
Dirty and real.
It's not like, oh, you know, let's dance all night and like have sex. Like, you know,
it's like you broke my heart.
Right, but but she said it in some weird angsty coffee shop kind of way, which I love. Like I said, Reality Bites is the movie that makes me think of that era where it was just like rebellious, but also like I'm moody and different. And let me put my beanie with my hair just like should have worn a beanie.
Her long hair.
She's like, let's go to Portland. No, I was kidding. But no,
I love her.
That's the other thing. Yeah, for your the lyric thing, I love that. But you know what? Just this is kind of an aside. My faux pas, there was two. This old song is wrapped up like a deuce in the middle of the night, blinded by the light. I thought it was wrapped up like a douche. Okay, hey, wrapped up like a douche in the middle of the night. Anyway, the other one that I messed up, and I grew up in Columbia, Maryland, on the East Coast. I thought Love Overboard was Love Baltimore. Love Baltimore. And then I was like, Love Baltimore. Love
Baltimore. I
Baltimore.
can rock with that. I like that.
So, but yeah, the one long take, again, she was apparently with a 20-minute song, the one long take, just all these things where she was like, I'm trying to get away from this like polished, like, let's just go for it. Let's see what we get.
Yeah.
And I love that
beautiful.
rawness, right?
That's really cool. I loved it.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen her live?
No, I almost did, but I've never seen her live.
The Hollywood Bowl show when she was touring Jagged
you
Little
saw
Pill?
her live.
Yes. Janae and I went. We saw it.
Oh my God, was it a great show? No, this is when she's older though, but
Amazing.
I heard it. She was like rocking it.
Oh my
like
God,
tour.
she sounded like better than her album. Like just her
That's a
live
sign of a
is
good artist,
exactly
right?
the same, like beyond times 10. Just
I know, I heard it was so good.
We laughed.
Is she not touring anymore?
I think she still is.
I have to.
If she
I'm
comes
gonna catch
around,
her.
well, you caught her play. Remember you were telling me?
Oh my God, yeah, that's the other thing. Okay, so I'm here in LA. Like I said, our off Broadway is like Pantages. You know, it's not quite the same as New York, but still pretty amazing. And yeah, my friend was like, oh, you know, normally not anything interesting playing these last couple of years, but they put together a musical that I first thought Alanis was in it, but then I found out it's just her songs. So like backwards, where it was like using all her songs from Jagged Little Pill mainly, but there was some from her next album too, like Uninvited and all that stuff. I love that song. But mainly Jagged Little Pill. But they put together this whole musical around her songs.
Yeah.
And then the story that they created from the songs and how they did the show, they were fantastic. It's my favorite. I've seen a lot of musicals, like all the classics. That's my top. I was crying.
I did remember like a snippet of that.
I wish you could have seen. You'd have loved it. I was literally, and I don't know if it was like I went with a couple other people that were like my age, and I was like, "Are we just crying because we're Gen X, like our other Gen X?" Because like, is it just touching our hearts? Because it was like, because also the story, it was actually a really dramatic story.
Yeah.
But the music was perfect. And I was like, oh my God, I don't know what it did to me. So yeah, I feel like music is magic like that, where it really does unlock people and it really just speaks to certain things you don't even know are there sometimes.
The only other time I've seen that, well, personally, is when they did it with Across the Universe with all the Beatles music, that movie.
I heard. I
haven't seen it?
I haven't seen the movie. I have it in my queue.
Everybody, watch Across the Universe.
I know.
If you're a Beatles fan.
Wait, is that the one that was with Fiona Apple's cover of Across the Universe? She does a cover. It's beautiful.
I'm not sure. Maybe. Anywho, yeah, check that out because it's awesome.
I think she does. I think Fiona Apple does a cover and that, but I heard the soundtrack is amazing. Well, they're all Beatles, but like all major artists cover the Beatles.
And they interweave this beautiful love story.
I'm going to watch that tomorrow.
Yes, do it. It's
I'll watch it tomorrow. This is a sign. You know, honestly, I used to have Alanis' CDs. I didn't have vinyl. More recently, I started collecting vinyl. And then I went to that musical and it reminded me, I forgot all about how much I loved Alanis Morissette stuff. I was just like, you know, it's out of sight, out of mind. I don't play CDs, you know.
Yeah.
But I fell in love again with all those songs.
Yeah.
What
are your top 3?
Oh God, that's tough because it's like, again, okay, so more recently, because I have it on a Spotify playlist, is Uninvited. I love that song. And I don't know, it has like this minor chord. Her melody in it is like haunting.
Yeah.
But it's also, the lyric is just so, I mean, she had a lot of songs about like, what's his name from Full House?
Yeah.
Remember?
He's the cross-eyed bear.
He's the cross-eyed bear.
She's singing
He's the
about.
cross-eyed bear. Unassuming little nerd dude from Full House. But yeah, no, I don't know. She had a lot of songs around that experience. And so Uninvited, I think, also was kind of a hint to that, and also a general sentiment, because that was her next follow-up album, and she was a little bit more mature, a little bit more worldly. And I think it just used like piano or something very simple, and then it kind of brought in strings and arrangement. It was like a weird atypical form of a song, which I also am drawn to. Like when people don't do the typical song structure, pop structure. But it just like highlighted her unique voice.
Yeah.
Which I really, really like. It really just let her unique kind of vocal, but in a more beautiful way. Because like I think some of her earlier stuff on Jagged Pill is just a bit more angsty. It'll be like, you know, like that kind of. But she just also, I think Uninvited for me, it was like more like this beautiful songbird kind of vibe. What about you? What's your favorite?
I love Right Through You.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yes.
That's on this album, right?
I know, that's on that album.
Right Through. Wait, how's it go again?
I see right through.
Yeah, that's like electric guitar.
You took me out to wine dine 69 May, and I hear a damn thing I said. See right through you.
See right through you.
And then
Yes, that is like our female rockers anthem.
these boys think we don't have them figured out. We see.
We got 'em.
Right
We got 'em
through
figured
you
out.
guys, but
We got 'em on
play
lock.
dumb 'cause we like you and you're cute, but
Cross-eyed bear.
it's a cross-eyed bear that you gave me. And I really love Your House. It was like a hidden track.
Wait, which
off
album?
It's off of this album, but like her acoustic version that she
it
released. It's
is?
like a hidden track. And
Is it on the vinyl or just on CD?
I think it was on CD. You know how she released the acoustic
probably-
version? And it's like a hidden track that like starts at the end of a song.
Oh, it just kind of keeps running.
Yeah,
That was
so
such a
hidden
90s
track.
thing,
I
by the way.
know!
I did that for one of my
Janet
band
did
albums.
that. Like,
Janet
all
did
of them
that.
were doing that. And when I discovered
God,
that little
Janet
gem,
did
I was like, ooh, this song is beautiful. It's so sad. So
I love that. I love the hidden track thing.
yeah.
And then You Learn. Remember that one?
Yes.
was a good
you
one, too.
live, you learn,
You
love,
You learn.
you cry,
You
you
learn. You
Bye.
learn. You learn.
the
Wait.
Bee Gees. yeah. Yeah.
You do so good. That's great. She has such an iconic voice. That's the other thing. It's undeniable. That's why it's actually hard to cover. Well, it's not hard if you do it your own way. Like Whitney Houston, people try to imitate because she has like a classic, like R&B kind of voice. But don't try to imitate Alanis because that'd be strange.
Yeah.
I was thinking too about this choice of Alanis for November. You know, I think there's a lot going on again, like whenever you watch this, you'll remember this time, November 2024, but there's a lot going on for women. There's a lot of energy surging up. There's a lot coming up for us being like, you know, taking our power back, stepping into our covens together, you know. And I feel like she really represented the beginning of that. I mean, remember Jewel and Sarah McLachlan, like all like Lilith Fair, and it was like the beginning of women as lead, like female artists that were starting to like get the popularity of the mainstream that normally, like, again, they were gated a lot by labels because they're like, oh, you know, you're a woman, we only can have so many, you know. And so also she wasn't stereotypically beautiful. I mean, she's of course gorgeous, I think, you know what I'm saying, but like in the industry
Compared to like all the pop
other
stars
women,
in
yeah,
the
because like
industry.
again, there's a higher standard than men. You know, you could
She
be
wasn't selling sex at all. in
right.
that
Well,
very type of like
it was almost
out
like
in the open type of way.
she wasn't doing it for the male gaze.
Right. Exactly.
That's what it was.
That's
She
the
was
perfect
selling
way.
like she was talking about gritty ditty.
Well, yes,
but
in her image, I
but
guess.
from the vantage point through a woman's lens.
Yeah.
And I feel like that was scratching the surface, to be honest. It was what, 90s, and look where we are now. But I think that I was like, oh man, it's just meant to be, because we just out of the blue we were like, Alanis Morissette. There's so many artists we can choose from, right? But I felt like it was meant to be. We needed to kind of bring her back and summon her and channel her for this month. But it's like one of those things, so a reminder to like find that inner, just actually celebrate your emotions, especially as women. Oh, you're too emotional. It's funny because men are actually more emotional than women. But the whole point is that's always been demonized or stigmatized. I think we should actually celebrate our emotions more and honor our emotions more, and actually open up our throat chakra, use our voices.
Being vulnerable is beautiful.
Yes.
And it takes a lot of courage and strength to speak your truth. And I think this song came perfect timing. And just what we're dealing with all together as a whole in our country. And just even like in this decade for me as a 30-something-year-old, like listening back to this album, I just connect to it a lot more because now I have experienced all that she's singing about. So it just hits me.
And you're still going through it, and we're evolving. And the other thing that she really speaks to that is like actually very relevant and current still now. How many years later? I don't even want to say it. Is that 30 years?
20 years when she was doing her tour, like the 20th.
Oh, well, I was going to say, no, I'm saying like her when she released this album in the 90s, right?
Yeah.
I know.
Almost 30 years.
That's crazy. I know. But what I'm saying is, I think what she was, especially for Hand in My Pocket, it was like there was a lot of contradictions, right? But it was almost a book of questions. Left arm or right leg, it was struggling to find the balance. And in her own journey as an artist, a female artist in LA, and trying to figure that out and that path, struggling with this relationship that was very public but not public and all this stuff. But even just like finding ourselves and really trying to, as we evolve and trying to figure it out, like, what do I want? What am I trying to be? So, I think that question is really an interesting one, is finding out
how we stay grounded.
Yeah, how do we stay grounded but still reach for more? What's our litmus? Like, what do you create as a litmus test for yourself? Because there's always constant choices, so I think that's an interesting question for people. Like, how do you stay grounded but still reach for more? How about you? What do you think about that question?
I just think, like you were saying, like this song deals with the personal confusion and contradictions that we all feel. And it's just about finding strength despite the uncertainties that life throws at you. And as I was touching on earlier, like just being in this decade of like my mid-30s, like to be completely honest, I like resonate so hard with these lyrics, because I'm just like, I'm tired, but I'm working, I care, but I'm restless. And sometimes I'm here in this moment, but really I'm gone, my thoughts, like I'm just like trying to figure it out. And what helps me stay grounded in those times where like maybe I'm like my worst critic, or I'm getting really hard on myself, maybe because I thought I'd be at a certain place in my life at this age, especially now in your 30s when you're seeing all of your peers kind of level up in that aspect of adulthood where it's like they're getting married, they're having children, they're like moving on. And I always, getting really vulnerable here. Like I always imagine that I would also be in that space. And, just having to like remind myself, okay.
Talking about relationships
and just, where you are in your life as a 30-something-year-old. Like I thought I'd be married. Like when I was younger, I thought, oh, when I'm 30, I'm going to have like 2 kids by now, my own house, like married and all the things. But, reality is we are millennials and it's a lot harder these days to have all those things. And like, I just feel like what keeps me grounded is having that support system that I have, like you, my friends, my family, and I turn to God, and that has always been my saving grace, is just knowing, like, just trust in the Lord with all your heart. You're exactly where you are, where you need to be, and you know, sometimes it's like, even when you don't know or it's not clear for you, it's already written,
So that's interesting. We have different takes on that, but I think because the thing is, I think that what you were pointing out with the lyric is that now that I'm thinking about it more, my journey has been I more recently have kind of come to terms with this being one of my superpowers, which I thought was a curse before, is that the ability to find beauty in the darkness, and maybe transmuting things. Like it's like it might be old, but it sure makes me laugh. Or, it's like always finding something where, so I noticed that everything she said was like, seems like a negative. Again, it's all perception. I'm broke, but I'm happy. I'm poor, but I'm kind. So she was always saying like, yes, on paper, this thing that everybody stereotypically thinks is negative, and maybe me too. I think what she's trying to point out has kind of been more similar to my journey, is that I think, like you're saying, I do believe in a God frequency. And I do believe we're all extensions of God. And that's my belief system. And I do feel like, you're like, oh, I thought, at this point I was going to be married. I get that. I think a lot of times what happens is as you evolve, you actually realize like, oh, that was someone else's story.
Yeah.
What I wanted.
We're all on our own journey.
Yeah, and you're also realizing like maybe I wanted something different and it looks different. And the universe, I always think the universe always supports us.
Yeah.
It even knows ahead of us. Like, like you're saying that maybe that's the same as you saying destiny or fate. But I just feel like it's up to us. There's so many possibilities, right? And I feel like you can have whatever story you want. But I think we get caught up in the movie a lot of times. Even comparing ourselves to other people, there's no use in doing that.
Of course not.
The whole thing is there's no such thing as like, by now you should be doing it. Like, there's no such thing as that. Everybody's choosing whatever they want because that's the kind of thing they want to experience. I feel like you haven't maybe hit that path because there's something different, and I always believe greater than where you are. And I feel like the more we honor ourselves and check in, it's kind of like her song was kind of a check-in. I love that.
Definitely.
It was like a gratitude session.
And a reminder of like, sometimes if things don't go the right way, it's just like redirection, and you're shifting into something that you're called to do or meant to do, and just trust that it's all working out.
Yeah, it's like finding like it's almost like not the lesson, but what can you cherry pick from this? Okay, this happened, and maybe the gut reaction is like, this, a couple things happened to me recently like this, but I'm getting better and better at this. And then I realized, oh, shoot, this was amazing. I wouldn't have done this on my own because I was so in my head about needing to do it this way. And because I was forced to kind of let go, I realized like, whoa, this thing that happened to me opened doors that I've already called for. So, and I think that was like such a nice way to kind of check in with yourself. Because like a lot of this stuff seems scary. Let's say you're trying to start a career and or like you're just dealing with a lot of things and people and uncertainty and variables. So how do you know what to choose is my question. And so I feel like I drop into my heart. I know this is getting all like whatever ethereal here.
We're getting real tonight.
We're getting zape. But no, seriously, I think that's the best way. That's what I call a litmus test. It's a contraction or expansion. Do you contract when you think about this thing or when you're around this person? Do you expand when you think about this thing or when you're around this person? And it's a perfect litmus test. It's like your body already knows. You get out of your head. Your head likes to overanalyze, and it fools you.
Yeah, definitely.
Your
mind can play tricks on you.
Oh, yeah.
Sure.
And if you drop into your heart, then the heart's like so simple and plain. And it's just be like, no, yes. No, yes. And you just keep going, boop, 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 on your quest. And that's the trust. I think that's the trust. And also, do I feel good? Am I expanding towards this? Make me feel good? It's like Marie Kondoing everything.
Or does this bring me joy?
Or does it give me anxiety? Does this give me whatever? It actually can be that simple. Just drop in. Like the fact that she did the 20-minute song, not getting her head. Like I'm guilty of that. Now more recently, I just like open myself up and I lean in. If it's like, okay, it wants to be written, go. If it wants to go this way, I don't question it. It's like when you have that person where a lot of times it actually stresses me out to have to make so many decisions sometimes.
Yeah, it could
and I'm
be
like,
stressful.
right? And so if someone's like, nope, do it, it'll be fine. And I'll be like, okay. And I just do it. That's the same feeling because then I relax and I go, okay, let me just do this thing that I'm looking forward to. But before I would have been caught up in this whole thing,
Yeah.
But like, I really did like this choice of the cover for her because there's so many good songs. But it really is that thing about checking in and reminding yourself, almost like a gratitude. Like if you're ever feeling like, we want to know, are we on the right path? Are we in the record groove? Are we in alignment? And I feel like that's how you know, because it's like there's so many questions and there's so many things that you are constantly asking yourself. That's the best and most, I think, accurate and trustworthy way to do it is to say, like, does this activate me? Does this make me feel expansive? Does this warm my heart? But then again, like I said, you have to drop into that heart to really quiet the mind. And a lot of times we block ourselves from having some amazing, fantastic experiences in this life when we are so rigid,
or in our head, or like staying in this dark mode or dark space for too long. It's like,
or we feel like we have to do something, you know?
Yeah, I feel like I was just this song came perfully.
Yeah, I know.
Because you can be experiencing really hard things, but at the same time be so happy about other things, and like two things can be happening all at once, and it's all a part of the journey in life. And
it's like, he's a shithead, but I'm amazing.
Right.
I got you, girl. I know what you mean.
Yeah, and so it's just wonderful to just have an artist like Alanis sing out our...
I mean, that's the thing, and I'm so connected with other female artists right now. It's like I'm having like this collective coven surge with women rising up, and I feel like artists, our voices, are our wands, and really helping to unify and inspire other people, to activate other people to say, guess what? You can write whatever story, you can go on whatever quest you want. There are no conditions, there are no restrictions. And it may seem so, the illusion is great, but if you really drop into your heart and go, you know what? I'm sassy, but I'm sassy.
You're doing great, sweetie.
You're doing great.
You're doing great.
Always
in this thing called life.
That's right. Just tell yourself every day. Tell this amazing body. Tell this amazing person. Every day, look in that mirror and say, "Girl or guy, you are doing amazing. You are freaking fantastic.
You're killing it.
Oh my gosh.
You're beautiful. You is kind.
You is kind.
You is wise. You is important.
And that's the truth. And that is the truth. And look yourself in the eyes. And that's it. Love on you. Have a love affair on you.
And give a high five.
And a peace sign.
You know they say to do that in the mirror every morning. Like, just smile at yourself and high
No,
five
I'm serious what I just said.
No,
I'm for real.
Affirmations really start your day.
I literally do that every morning. I do. I'm not kidding. I'm okay to tell y'all.
Again.
I'm like, girl, you're doing amazing. You good.
That's right.
You good.
You're always so positive, so chipper.
That's the secret.
she has
every morning, everyone, the evil Shay in the mirror is like, now go get him. No, just kidding. No.
I'm so happy we did this. It was just like a good reminder, and like you said, like a check-in, and just like, check yourself, girl. We good.
It is a check-in, and it's almost like it's your own personal booster. Like, nobody's going to do it for you. You know what? The only person who really matters in this crazy reality is you. Mm-hmm. Okay? You are the one. So spend some time with you. Love on
Get
you.
To know you
date
more,
you.
love on
splurge
you.
on you. And then you know what?
Buy yourself a donut.
Buy yourself a donut that's delicious.
Every flavor.
Right, and then you're the one who decides, how are you doing? If they do something crappy to you, then guess what? You're an oak tree. It doesn't faze you as much. You're just kind of like, meh. Look, I know it's easier said than done, but that is the journey towards that. The more you get in touch with you and love on you and know that you're the only one that's really here. Now we're getting deep. Then you'll realize all this other stuff is like silly. And by the way, everybody you cast in your movie, you're the director. So
you're the lead.
Cast some better characters if you're like, eh.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're the lead. You're the director. You're starring in it.
You're producing
You're
it.
all the things.
You're writing it.
You're like, imagine yourself like being John Malkovich.
Oh my gosh, I love that movie.
It's such a good movie. Malkovich.
I love that one.
I have to watch that again. It's been a minute. So yes, Alanis Morissette. We are going to wrap up our donut session. Hot.
Thank you, Alanis Morissette.
Hot emo alt rock.
We were so emo. I was so emo this session.
We were very emo.
It's real.
We tapped into
it's real and raw. This
donut
vibes. Was raw.
Are you guys wearing like your hair swooped? Or are you like, what's happening? What's everybody doing? Are you guys wearing flannel? Come on, get angsty with us. So wrapping up those donuts. Thanks for tuning in. As usual, please follow us on Spotify, YouTube. We are video first, this podcast in general. And
all video. Spotify,
all video.
YouTube.
If you follow us, you'll know whenever a new episode pops up. And eventually we're going to have a really cool Patreon channel that's going to have some really cool stuff where we're going to be recording all these covers, nice versions, produced versions, and some other goodies. if you follow us on Patreon. So, yes. So this has been Sonic Donuts.
Tasty sounds that tickle your earbuds and tease your brain.
Woo!
Sonic Donuts.
We'll see you next episode.
Donuts. Sonic Donuts. Sonic
Donuts.
Donuts. Sonic Donuts.
You leaned in on that. A little shoulder shimmy. Good job. All right. Sonic